Words-Crossroads by Robert P. Fitton'S. Lieutenant Wirtz flipped the sirens and the flashing blue lights swung across the front yards and houses as he sped back to Brighton Falls. The cruiser air conditioner was not working again, so he rolled down the side window. "Hey, Hank, radio Sam. What I think we need to do is to surround this place in case this guy tries to hurt anyone else." Hank checked the bright computer screen letters as they raced toward town. "Killed his girlfriend in Arizona, slashed her throat. Why does he want a horse and wagon?" "Because he's psycho, that's why." Todd Granger held the podium, paused, and scanned the large auditorium. Hundreds had paid money to listen to his motivation speech, but as he neared the conclusion, he wondered why he was here at all. "Forget our business world. Believe in whatever you do in your life. Without substance, a man has nothing. He runs adrift and is good to no one, even himself. Thank you and good afternoon." The crowd responded with a standing thunder as Todd waved and walked under his company's purple and white banner. He shook hands perfunctorily and staggered off the stage. His knees weakened and he thought he might collapse. "You look like hell, Todd," said Bruce Williams. "I feel like hell." Todd clutched the side curtain as the applause tapered off. "I need time off. No more speeches. I just want to go home. I'm here against my will. Why am I doing this?" "Hey, you're losing it, Todd. There has to be another way. I tell you, I don't belong here." "Todd, get a hold of yourself. This motivational speaking is a gold mine." Todd, breathing rapidly, scanned the Christmas decorations back in the lobby. "The season for giving, and I'm talking about taking, succeeding in the business world. You diverted from the usual script at the end. Maybe I was talking about myself. Maybe they need to know the truth. This is not where I'm supposed to be." He stood upright and turned toward the stage. "What are you doing?" "Going back out there and tell those people what I really think." "Don't do that. We'll never get another booking." "Good." Todd emerged from behind the curtain. The people stood around the hall. Some had left through the back exits. Bruce pleaded with him as he pulled the microphone off the stand. "Listen to me." Heads turned. "We live in an information age where everything comes easily. I submit that we are inundated with useless information. Think about what really matters and not the dribble you are fed. They've made it easy to take in the inconsequential and the manifestations of the profit makers. Give me the simple life." Bruce walked across the stage and spoke away from the mic. Todd, they're listening to this." "Distances have shriveled. The fast food places have ruined the locales. So have the mega chain stores. It's all homogenized now. Where is small-town America? What happened to the old-fashioned, poignant love songs? Where is their commitment in a transient society? Where is the thought within the passiveness of the media?" Bruce yanked his arm. A low buzz generated in the hall, and the people trickling out looked back inside. "Congratulations, Todd. Word of this outburst will spread." "In our zest for technological excellence, we have bred mediocrity." He held the microphone to his side and finally dropped it onto the floor as he wept. Bruce took his arm and led him back on the stage. The curtains and the upper ropes above the stage spun and everything dissipated. He lay on his back, and now spread before him in the cold winter air was an undulating white hilly landscape with tiny branches against a pink-silver sky. He was on his way home. Renee, wrapped in her new soft mink, strutted into the hotel room. "Todd, have you gone soft?" "I don't know," said Todd from the couch. "Bruce told me how you lost it on stage." She mixed a drink and looped her bright black nails around the silver glass. "Call a goddamn shrink, 'cause I can't deal with you flipping out." "A lady shouldn't use that language." "Whoever said she was a lady?" asked Bruce. What? Come on, Todd. You got 16 cities on this tour and you're worried about a few expletives? Setting the drink on the side table, she removed a gold cigarette case. She pinched a long filtered cigarette in her violet rouged lips and popped the lighter flame. In a half second, she'd inhaled and blew smoke back into the room. We have spent 10 years developing this motivational tour. Well, you're pretty unmotivating, Todd. Do I have to hold your hand up there? Please, Renee, leave me alone now. Oh, sure, she said, taking in more smoke. I'll leave you alone, but you better get your shit together, Todd, before we go to Chicago. She reached the outside door and then she turned. I think you've wimped out. She slammed the door and Todd stood. In 2 hours, he would be on the plane to Chicago. Her smoke lingered and the deep lipstick lined the gin glass. He moved to the window and pulled back the curtain rod. A thick barrage of snow swept the air, partially obscuring the city lights. He feared Renee would leave him. He raced to the closet and donned his leather jacket. Maybe he would catch her before the elevator reached the lobby. Once in the hall, he opened the stairwell door and raced down the concrete. At the lower door, he looked across the wood-paneled lobby. The elevator doors had just closed, and the outline of Renee's dark mink vanished through the rotating door. He dodged 3 people entering the elevator and scampered through the busy lobby to the door. Within the swirling snow, Renee trudged across the road. He shuffled behind an old woman inside the revolving door. The cold air snipped his cheeks as he slid onto the sidewalk. Snowflakes and sheets whipped through the streetlights and partially hid Renee as she entered the park. Todd waited for a yellow cab to pass. He splashed the slush and called out her name. The icy snow stung his eyes as he bolted across the road and reached the far sidewalk. He shielded his arm against the onslaught, but slipped on the park hill. A red light swung slowly in the darkened squall ahead near the granite statues at the top. Todd fought to maintain his balance down the cement walkway. An old man, his white beard reflected crimson, gazed through square-rimmed spectacles. Crossroads! Crossroads! A woman just walked down here, said Todd into the wind gust. No, I can't say I've seen anyone for quite some time. About time you were back. You've been caught in the middle, son. Her name is Renee. She's wearing a mink coat. You don't understand, Todd. How do you know my name? I have to get you back. I hope I can keep you back this time. He held the lantern upward. Sometimes you get caught in the middle. My job is to get you back if I can, and I think I finally can. Who are you? The longer we wait, the harder it becomes. The lantern reflected red circles in his glass spectacles. He moved past the old man and along a prodigious rock ledge. The lantern dimmed around the rocks, but when he turned, a bright mass moved toward him. As the light enveloped him, he lost sight of the park and the old man's lantern. He rubbed his hands in the cold air. A town was nestled in a dipping valley. Smoke rose gracefully from chimneys dotted across the snow-covered landscape. A railroad track and a parallel series of wire lines cut through the fields and along the houses and town buildings. Horses pulled carriages along unpaved muddy roads. The rock ledge blocked the passage behind. Todd ran his fingertips along his bristly side whiskers, and a thick handlebar mustache covered his upper lip. He removed his gloves as he trudged through the snow-covered path and buttoned his heavy coat. His breath fogged up in the cold morning air as he reached the shadows of a long snow-covered fence below. Amanda was probably wondering why he hadn't come home. The town buildings were coated with a layer of fresh snow, and thick smoke was more evident closer to town. Men with wood-handled shovels scraped pathways along Main Street. Cold water from hanging icicles dripped onto his cheek as he stepped onto the cleared, wet boardwalk. "Good morning, Todd," said a man about his age, bundled up and his breath vivid in the sunlight. "Please tell Amanda that Harriet will be over to plan the Christmas meal. We won't be long. December's been cold, but quick." Harriet, how do I know she's my wife's sister? The man produced a wide grin on his stubble face. "Ah, Todd, you're always poking fun. By the way, the train got delayed. I was hoping that toy shipment for the kids would be here at noon. Still might be. Kids can't make it through Christmas without a visit from St. Nicholas. I'll send someone to the rail yard over to your store. My store? You been taking a few swigs before breakfast? Pretending to hit Todd's shoulder as he smiled. No, Arthur, no. My brother-in-law. Get to the store, Todd. The farmers are going to need feed after the storm. You're right. I'll tell Amanda what you said, he said, hurrying back down the boardwalk. And let me know about those toys, Arthur. A few riders passed him, steam rising off their horses' clean coats. Todd went down the stairs. Next to the white clapboard church, a black-lettered sign was nailed to newly cut boards along the boardwalk porch. Granger's store. He was drawn to the wrought iron gate beyond the boardwalk. Bare oaks and maples spread over a shoveled incline walkway to a yellow clapboard house with ornate green trim. Smoke rose from a tight brick chimney centered on the slate roof. He stared at the steam evaporating off the roof snow. The iron gate squeaked when he pushed it open. Two small girls pressed their noses against the windowpane condensation and waved. The heavy green front door opened and they ran onto the wide porch. Papa! Todd moved quickly to greet them. It's cold out here, girls. At the door, Amanda, her brown hair braided to the shoulder, folded her arms across her blue sweater. Sarah and Hannah, it's freezing out there. Todd escorted them up the porch, and Amanda put her arm around him as they all moved into the heated foyer. And how was your walk, Mr. Granger? My walk was... He looked into her dark eyes. Amanda, I feel like I've been away for so long. She had a wide smile. 88 minutes, and after your morning coffee and muffins, you'll have to open the store. The children rushed into the parlor and held her shoulders. I missed you. She moved her lips upward and tilted her head. You're in a reflective mood this morning. Must be the Christmas spirit. Todd looked past the garlands decorating the foyer moldings into the parlor and down the hall into the wallpapered kitchen. I talked to Arthur. The toy shipment might be stuck on the train from Chicago. Well, 2 days until Christmas. Hannah is convinced she's getting the China doll. She's already given it a name, Gretchen. And Sarah wants that sheet music. As she spoke, the parlor piano erupted into a sweet cavalcade of notes, merging into O Holy Night. Todd held Amanda's hand and they moved into the parlor. White candles were placed amidst mantle greens. Hannah's soothing voice accompanied the brisk rendition as Sarah's nimble fingers danced across the keys. The wax from the candles extinguished on the towering spruce near the white mantel lingered in the air. Bulky round logs blazed red behind the dark fireplace screen. Todd turned. I'm looking forward to Christmas dinner. It's a good life, Todd. A good life. Someone rapped the heavy brass knocker. Amanda crossed into the foyer as Todd leaned against the wood frame. The cold air rushed in and he heard Arthur whisper, Todd, it's the train. Sarah continued on the piano as he moved into the foyer. Amanda closed the front door. The train can't get through the mountains. Oh, Todd, the presents. When will the tracks be cleared, Arthur? You don't understand. It's a wreck. With the snow, it won't be till after the holiday till they get that train to Brighton Falls. The children have presents on that train, said Todd, stroking his chin. Buy them something else, something from the store. No. He thought about the girls and their Christmas hopes as music filled the house. We'll go by wagon. With the roads the way they are? Come on, Todd. With moist eyes, Amanda stared into the parlor. Maybe we can explain. I don't want the girls to have memories of a Christmas without the things they hope for. Let's get the horses, Arthur. Come on, we'll follow the tracks. Todd leaned toward the sidelights and pulled back the ruffled curtains, but now he saw a long blue pool surrounded by concrete and rock mountains, lurking behind a stockade fence. He heard Renee again. You're a pain in the ass, Todd. Ever since we pulled your drunken ass out of the park last night, we got you on the plane before word got out. Todd closed his eyes. Renee. No, I don't want to be back here. I have to get to the wagon. She sounded drunk. You don't even know. I had an affair, all right? What's the big deal? People play around? Todd continued staring at the rock ledges beyond the rippling pool water. I don't belong here. Then get out. You need to see a shrink anyway. You think we're going to be booking motivation seminars with some self-righteous guy pontificating? These people shelled out bucks to be motivated, not to be preached to. Todd gawked at her short leather skirt and sheer half-open blouse. A full glass of gin threatened to overflow. He said, I don't belong here. I don't know why I'm back here again. I don't know why you're here either. You used to be fun, Todd. She lifted the clear liquor to her smeared lips and poured the entire contents down her throat. There! While you were passed out, I had a man up here, Todd. That's how bright you are. Todd clenched his fists and grabbed her arms. What kind of a person are you? Let go of me. No. Get out. Get out of my sight. I don't want to see or hear from you again. He released her and she fell back on the carpet. She scrambled to the kitchen counter and pulled out a wide, glistening carving knife. Her heavy eyes and fanatic grin was accompanied by a slow, slurring dribble. I used you, Todd. Don't you see that? You like knives, Todd? Put down the knife, Renee. Her crazed eyes opened wide as she retraced her steps across the room. The sharp, narrow blade shook in her hands as Todd backed against the wall. I don't need you. Just put down the knife. Killing me won't... She pushed the blade toward him several times. Nervous? Where's your motivation now, Todd? You're going to kill me, is that it? Worse, I could just live with you. You're going to get your head together again and start making money for us. No, going back to Brighton Falls. Oh, really? Then where the hell is Brighton Falls? I don't belong here. I don't know why I'm here. Brighton Falls, it must be real. Renee swiped the knife through the air. Todd kicked her side when she thrust the knife forward again. Then he wrapped his hands around her hands as he pushed the blade toward his chest. He overcame the resistance and backhanded her face. When she swung the knife again, he whipped her wrist back like a stretched rubber band and sliced her neck. Blood squirted in his face and she fell to the rug. He held the knife over her fallen form. The doorbell rang and he headed for the window. That guy picks the hottest night of the summer to hold up here, said Wirtz, looking at the spotlight shining on old man Granby's barn. He patted his handkerchief onto his forehead. The chief moved with the minister past the barricade. What do you think, Sam? What does he want? The chief puffed on his cigarette and chucked it aside. He has horses hitched to the wagon. That's all he wants. What do you think, Pastor? I think the man has lost touch with reality. He claims his girlfriend rushed him with the knife. Pastor, I wish I had a buck for every con man who said it wasn't his fault. Wirtz's eyes closed for a second and he looked at Hank. He turned toward the large crowd gathering behind the yellow plastic tape. Hey, we don't need an audience for this. I say let him ride out with the wagon, said the chief. Sam, that is a mistake, said Wirtz. The chief shook his head. I want you and Hank to head for the rear doors. Granger isn't armed. And do what, Sam? Let him out. Let him go. The horses will tire, then we bring him in. Wirtz nodded, but he didn't like it. He motioned for Hank to follow him past the corral fences. This is a dumb move. Maybe he's right, said Hank as Roger Stebbins ran from behind the gate. Roger, get the hell out of here. I heard the pastor say he's not armed. Isn't it enough it's 100 degrees out here? I have to have people who can't mind their own business? This is my business. The man inside. My maternal grandparents were named Granger. My great-great-grandfather was named Todd Granger. Wirtz stopped at the edge of the building. Then go have a reunion back at the jail cell. Roger, get back. Roger stepped back to the fence as Hank paralleled the barn toward the wooden door latches. Wirtz positioned himself on the far side as the two men lifted the thick plank out of the wooden bracket. They walked on either side and set the wood on the ground. Wirtz wiped his forehead and neck. "He better not be armed," said Hank, drawing his gun. Wirtz already had his weapon pointed upward. With his fingers he gripped the frame support. Cold air, like the inside of his cruiser when the air conditioner was working right, filtered out of the crack. The door was difficult to open. "Come on, help me, Hank." Both men pulled back. Frost, flakes, and snow fell out of the darkened opening. The pressure eased and the doors exploded with the deafening howl of a prairie blizzard. Snow whipped around the barnyard and billowed above the roof. The steady click of horse hooves grew louder. 2 mammoth brown workhorses appeared within a blast of snow and ice. Wirtz retreated with Hank to the fence. Atop the wagon, the hazy figures of 2 men in a pile of wrapped boxes behind the seat moved into the barnyard with the snow. Wirtz shielded his eyes against ice bits flying into his face. The storm formed a fuzzy glow as the horses and wagon passed through the rear corral without disturbing the fence boards. As the glow faded across the back field, a white-bearded man with a red lantern turned and faced them. He waved the lantern twice and then marched into the darkness. The light mass tightened into a small pinpoint and then faded with the lantern. Wirtz stepped forward and followed the moisture up to the fence. He shined his flashlight across the corral's wet trail and into the field. He turned when the chief appeared, back with Hank and Roger Stebbins. "Where the hell is he?" asked the chief. Wirtz stepped from the fence. "I didn't see nothing, Chief." "Nothing at all."